this in the future.
Welcome to the realm of ideas is free to all. It's Bruce
And Julie.
and Penguel.
Penguet. She
she's
is French.
no, she's Spanish.
No.
She descends from the Guel family. She's Penguel. Her mother was a pianist, right, and a human. So, weird things going on. Anyway, I don't think they recognize her. But anyway, so like I say all the time, this is a series of ruminations we do once a week. This is the preview on. Oh, here you go.
I'm really thirsty.
Yes, so am I. So this is returning to Hi Tees Tea. We love you guys. Thank you, our sponsor, Tees Tea.
Thank you to our sponsor.
You're the best sponsor in the world.
They're wonderful.
And they call us super fans.
Yes.
Well, we are.
Which we are.
Yes. So this is a return to episode 62, which is about the nature of the adventurous mind. I'm sitting next to one right here, and I kind of think that I remember thinking of this in terms of the fact that so anyway, we're going to continue on that conversation because we never thought about that. But one thing that's come up since that last time is I think that one of the things that happens is every generation, as Ortega says, kind of comes upon its circumstance and basically tries to be able to kind of understand what that is in terms of how that will manifest their destiny, how they will basically accept it, appreciate it, and be able to rise to the point where they can come totally fulfill the potential of that. And I don't think the adventurous mind is so much created for that. I think it's one of those things that happens where the adventurous mind sees an opportunity in that. I don't think it's something that is a kind of like, direct cause and effect. I think it's one of those things where it's an opportunity that presents itself that, you come upon. And as a result, an adventurous mind craves that because it's a tremendous adventure. I don't think there's any greater adventure than trying to be on the horizon of ideas, the horizon of imagination. Anyway, so continuing on with our conversation, like, what do you think the things that we're going to focus on this weekend?
Well, I can say I am going to be focusing on 3 particularly adventurous minds, other than my own, of course. So that would make 3 additional. I will be focusing on the adventurous mind of Émile Gallet, the incredible Art Nouveau. No, not the goalie.
That's funny. He was a goalie in the QMA.
Oh, well, that's really
Quebec
really
Major Hockey League.
Well,
no, it's not. I made that up.
Okay. Well, he is French, was French, and lived and designed in the Art Nouveau. I hesitate to say idiom because he was really quite an innovator.
Independent.
He was independent.
You have a beautiful monograph you got us.
Oh, I do. And for those of you who don't know, he was a scientist too. He was a botanist, a very, very well-studied academic botanist who told all of his, at one point, close to 300 Art Nouveau designers in his glassware plant in Nancy, France, where he lived and set up his work, although he traveled very adventurously throughout the world in his sadly short life. He did an awful lot, but he said always work from real botanical specimens, always work from live creatures, live plants, live flowers. Use those as a springboard for your imagination and then invent your designs from there, meaning don't use nature as a shackle or blueprint, use it as an inspiration that launches your imagination.
Yeah, it's really true. I think one of the things that happens, we've been talking about this recently. It's been coming up sometimes in terms of the idea of kind of romanticism. And I think that there's a kind of healthy and an unhealthy romanticism. I think that the idea of kind of like finding inspiration in nature is very well put. I think especially but the thing is that manifests in different ways in different times to different people. So I think the healthy ways are when those things kind of manifest themselves in terms of the destiny of the time, and other times when they basically take on some kind of something more pathological, or like a sentimentality, or a kind of like a longing for something that's kind of like that's not really putting towards the kind of best efforts of the individuals.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say in that case, there is often that desire to kind of like shackle oneself to something, in the fact that there kind of becomes this kind of fetish type thing. And I think in that case, sometimes those things can become unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
So Gallet is a really good example of someone who, I think what makes a style great is when the people kind of embody themselves, that you would know this individual within that style. I think one of the weakest I've ever seen in history was Cubism. And it's not necessarily Cubism itself, but the expression of Cubism with Braque and Picasso. Picasso was a great artist, maybe one of the greatest artists of the 20th century. Braque was a marginal artist who basically was only known for Cubism. But the fact that these two people were shackled to the point where their work became almost identical,
almost indistinguishable,
was something that I felt was a kind of like an unhealthy circumstance. I think that I admired the work of Juan Gris because he at least managed to stay somewhat aloof, and didn't just kind of end up kind of falling down a certain kind of like a one-way street.
Well, he shed the constraints imposed on him by Cubist dictates, and actually forged his own very unique hybrid style that was partially Cubist, partly a collage. But may I say, Juan Gris had an even far shorter life. His life was woefully short, but his collages did something entirely different from any others I have seen. He did not use found magazine clippings, other people's photos, other people's drawings. He created his own printed work and then collaged that.
Right. No, he did.
So, I mean, he was pretty, anyway.
Yeah. But again, I think this was kind of a circumstance that I don't know if it was, I haven't really put much time into thinking. I don't know if it was the style or it was the people, but that was a good expression, as opposed to the fact, Lalique or within or Ruhlmann within Art Nouveau, as a part of their particular kind of contribution under the larger framework. Anyway, we'll talk more about that on Sunday.
All right, you asked what else I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
What did I say?
No, go ahead.
Oh, well, we'll be talking about Alexander Borodin, who is a classical composer and a full-time chemist, and Sir Arthur Conan Doyle of Sherlock Holmes fame, who was actually a medical doctor who chose not to practice and became a writer.
Okay. All right. So that'll be it. So we'll see you on Sunday.
It's very short. We've only been on for 8 minutes. But,
okay. If you want to say more, sorry, if we're going to say more, I'm going to read this. One of the things that I felt, actually, one of the things that was, we tried to do something on the page where we put an upcoming, and I think it was on the page. Unfortunately, I guess what we didn't understand was, I guess we thought that would automatically open up. So what happened was, the reason we were late, a little bit befuddled, was we had set this up, and then so we're not really sure what's going to happen. Hopefully this will be seen. It seems like it's still a stream. So I don't know, but hopefully it goes through. But we really kind of never hit on the topic. I mean, this was kind of a little bit confused. Ralph Waldo Emerson, Self-Reliance and Other Essays. In Self-Reliance, he says, I shun father and mother and wife and brother. When my genius calls me, I would write on the lintels of the doorpost whim. I hope it is somewhat better than whim at last, but we cannot spend the day in explanation. Expect me not to show cause why seek or why I exclude company. Then again, do not tell me, as a good man did today, of my obligation to put all poor men in good situation. I think that's the idea that, we abide by our genius. And that is, I think, the testament, or the kind of like, say, the statement or testament of the adventurous mind. Okay. Anything else?
Yes.
Okay.
I will be talking about classifying of fungi in mycology, because it takes a very adventurous mind to understand a very unclassifiable group of organisms,
Mm.
which actually don't fit into any known zoological path.
Mm.
They are not a plant, they are
Mhm.
not a flower, they're not a conifer.
Mhm.
They aren't an animal, but they
Mhm.
act more like mammals than they do like
Mm.
plants
Mm.
very often.
Mhm.
And finally, I will be talking about the very adventurous mind, and the idea of trichomes, which I will explain more on Saturday night.
Okay.
So that's kind
All
of
right.
just to give
Good.
you a
Yeah.
framework.
Right.
Yeah,
All right. So the
yeah,
realm of ideas is free to all, and it's to benefit all for us to keep it just that way.
precisely.